appear that Alfred Benet's fears over how his Binet-Simon scales would ultimately be used were well-founded. Louis Terman created an intelligence test known as the Stanford Binet. He took the work that Binet had done for use within the French educational system, tweaked a couple of items, and developed what he called the Stanford Binet test, which he said was an actual intelligence test. This was created out in California. That's why it's called the Stanford Binet, Stanford University. And it was designed to be used initially with adults. There have since been different iterations of it that are for use with children. But the Stanford Binet, it very much aligns with Terman's eugenics-based viewpoint that an intelligence test is designed to measure someone's innate intellectual talents. Terman, this quote, as you can see here, believed that intelligence tests should be used in order to really ascertain which people are worthy of continuing the human population and which people shouldn't. This quote reads that the eugenic use of intelligence tests would, quote, ultimately result in curtailing the reproduction of feeble-mindedness and in the elimination of an enormous amount of crime, pauperism, and industrial inefficiency. So in this quote, you can see that Terman was laying the blame for all sorts of issues with society, crime, poverty, as he says, industrial inefficiency. He was laying the blame for this at the feet of people who were less intelligent. And so he thought, I can give people the Stanford Binet, I can make them take this test, we'll be able to figure out who's smarter, who's not as smart, and then let's, get rid of these people who aren't as smart. Let's not let them continue to have kids. Coming off of the Stanford Binet, the creation of this intelligence test, was the need for another way of talking about the results of intelligence tests. And so William Stern developed what we now know as IQ. IQ stands for intelligence quotient. And as you can see here, IQ is based around Binet's concept of mental age with a little bit of extra math. So IQ is where you take mental age and then you divide that by chronological age and you multiply it by 100. So if someone has an IQ of 100, what that means is that their mental age is the same as their chronological age. If your mental age is 8, you're performing at the same level of most 8-year-olds, and you're actually 8 in the real world, then that would mean that 8 divided by 8 is 1 times 100 gives you an IQ of 100. So 100 really also then means you have an average IQ. To say that your mental age and your chronological age are the same means you are right on par with the average performance of people in your age group. So an IQ above 100 means you have an above average intelligence, that you are performing better than most people or than the average number of people in your age group. If you have an IQ of below 100, well, that means that your IQ is below average.